There was that meme at one point of all the moods of Bill Belichick, and it was the same photo. It's pretty much him. Patriots get the win, improved to 4-4, 13th straight victory over the Jets, and along the way, Bill Belichick passes George Halas for second all-time on the NFL's career coaching victory list. The AFC East, the only division in football that has no team with a losing record. Now the Patriots get themselves back to 500. And
what about the NFC East? Aren't the Commanders 4-4? Am I crazy?
Without a team, maybe you're right. I'm just reading what's on the sheet, but you're right. Yeah. We got to go with what's on the sheet sometimes. We've gotten the apology from the control room. The NFC East and the AFC East. So the AFC East is the only division in the AFC which does not have a team with a losing record. So thank you for that. The Patriots continue to be the Patriots, and write them off at your own peril. They're going to be a factor. They're going to win games. They're going to lose games, but they're going to win games. The question is, will they lose by 30 again if they cross paths with the Bills in the postseason like last year? We forget that they ended up being pretty damn good last year because of what happened in that playoff game. The Patriots figured it out. They get better as the season progresses. That's part of the cycle of Bill Belichick. The more he learns about his team, the more he learns about all the other teams, the better he gets. And he had a lot to learn about the Jets, and they made Zach Wilson look ordinary. And look, this is going to be like one of the narratives that emerges from the week. All these second-year quarterbacks, is there going to be any of them that truly becomes a franchise guy? Justin Fields right now is the closest thing to it.
Is he? I mean, like, if that's the case, man, we're not in a good spot. You know, is Justin Fields the closest thing? I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't feel. Davis Mills. I mean,
really? Yeah.
I don't know, but you're right. I mean, they made Zach Wilson look ordinary. And I think part of it too, is they're playing their first game without Breece Hall. And when you're doing that like that, and the guy had paced the offense as he did, that's going to have a negative effect on you no matter what. But I mean, when Zach Wilson is airmailing guys like this, that can't happen. I mean, so many throws he just threw off his back foot. Look at what he's doing right here. He said after the game, he's trying to throw this thing away. Well, then throw the damn ball away, sir. You can't leave that ball in the field of play, because these are the kinds of things that are going to happen. You're just making reckless mistakes that you cannot make as a starting quarterback in the NFL if you're going to be successful. And, you know, at a certain point, if he keeps playing like this, then the question's going to become, well, do you turn to Mike White at any point? Because they did elevate him to be the backup quarterback over Joe Flacco yesterday. I'm not really sure why they elevated Chris Streveler from the practice squad for him just to be inactive. But Zach Wilson was not good enough yesterday, and he was one of the primary reasons that the Jets lost that game.
And when Zach Wilson was entering the draft, Chris Sims made the comparisons as it relates to the combination of mobility and throwing skills to the likes of Patrick Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers, because you have the mobility, but the thing is, you have the mobility to extend the play, but if you extend the play and you turn it into a mess, it's better to not have the mobility to extend the play. And there was a quote that I saw from Zach Wilson yesterday saying it gets frustrating to him when he's able to extend the play and he still can't make anything happen. So then he makes a bad throw. He's got to learn how to just run out of bounds, throw the ball away, do something. I know it's not exciting, but it's far better than turning the ball over and starting a snowball that just gets out of control and you just can't get anything done. And yeah, you do have to start worrying about Mike White or Joe Flacco or someone else if it just doesn't work. And you don't get 5 years anymore like Terry Bradshaw did. I don't know how much time you get to have the light come on at the quarterback position, but
4 years.
You've got maybe 4. You get 3. That's what Tyreek Hill said before the season
about 3 to 4.
About
3 to 4. That's
Tua
it.
Tagovailoa. The way the NFL is, if you're a first-round draft pick quarterback, you get 3 years. Year 3, if you don't get it done year 3, I'm trying very hard not to show the middle finger here. If you don't get it done by year 3, accidentally, or on purpose, but if you don't get it done by year 3, you're just done. And this is the Geno Smith dynamic. And this is one of the, I don't want to stray into one of my crusades here. This is one of the reasons why I'm a firm believer in great quarterbacks being willing to push back against the draft process. You get stuck with a bad team.
Mike, it's still October.
I know, but you get stuck with a bad team, and that's it. You're done. Like, where's your next stop if you wash out? If you're Zach Wilson, if you're Trevor Lawrence, if you're Justin Fields, if you're Trey Lance.
The Carolina Panthers.
Well, true. That's true. And you can all be on the team at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah,
playing behind a former XFL quarterback.
Right. Yes, exactly. So, I mean, look, you have to, if you're Zach Wilson, just kind of try to change that mentality in your head of, because that quote stood out to me too, that you pointed out, that, it gets frustrating when I get out of the pocket and I make a play and there's not a play to be made. Well, like, dude, that's football. That's the NFL. And you got to live to see another day. And so if you're not doing that, then you're allowing your team to lose games. And if you are the reason that your team loses games as a quarterback, you're not going to be playing quarterback for very long. So you get 3 years to show if you have something, right? Because then after that, they got to make the decision on the 5th-year option. So you look at Daniel Jones, who we're about to talk about, if you go into it and then you don't show enough, then you're not going to get your 5th-year option picked up, but then you still might play. So if you are good in that 4th year, you can, maybe change that dynamic and change the narrative. So there's a lot going on there, when it comes to quarterbacks and not being able to have the time and all these different things to mature. You got to show progress quickly because of the way the contracts work. It's just the way the NFL is set up.
Let's see and hear from Jets head coach Robert Sala regarding his second-year quarterback, Zach Wilson's performance on Sunday.
Well, he always has to play better. There's the point is as soon as you step on the field, you have to play better. Yeah, but he's got to play better. We got to find ways to help him.
He's got to play better. Yes, that's a given. The question is, if they're helping him and he doesn't play better, that's when the clock starts ticking on maybe the end of the road for Zach Wilson with the Jets. Mac Jones had to play better. He was the starter. All of that talk this week about who's going to start the game and everything's a hypothetical. That's Bill Belichick's new there's a snake in my boots. It's hypothetical day to day. We're on to Cincinnati. It's all hypothetical. Mac Jones had a very actual and real pick six that was called back thanks to a roughing the passer penalty. And this is a time when, look, the Jets leading by 7 points, getting late in the half, and there it goes. That would have been 17-3 going into the break. What a different vibe it would have been for the day for both teams. But the flag was on the ground, and let's have a look at the hit on Mac Jones. I'm okay with this. Look, I'm at the point where I don't know what roughing is or isn't, and I'm expecting a flag every time a quarterback gets hit. But this, you got the multiple steps and hitting the guy from behind. He didn't put his helmet into his back like we saw on Monday night when the Patriots did Justin Fields, but it was enough to wipe out the pick six and save the day for the New England Patriots. Very different outcome to that game if that flag isn't thrown. There was also a questionable call earlier when Mac Jones was running the ball. He was clearly a runner. He took a forearm to the helmet, and there was a flag for unnecessary roughness. If that was a running back, there's no way that ever gets called. And I think the NFL's position is that he was in the process of going to the ground to give himself up, even though he wasn't sliding in the traditional way. If you're in the process of going to the ground at all, you get some sort of protection. And he took the blow to the head and he got the 15-yard penalty. And then not long after that, he was at the sideline. And I could tell he deliberately slowed down to take a hit, trying to draw another free 15 yards.
Well, I mean, if they're going to give him 15 yards, then, you play within the rules, then you're maybe on the margins a little bit. You surprised that a Patriots player is doing that? Kind of not. But, these kinds of things happen. And it's one of those issues where, like, he's right there and he tries to slow up to get that penalty. But, like, you're still on the field of play, dude. And you have to be able to either protect yourself and get yourself out of bounds or don't and live with the consequences. And fortunately, he popped back up, right? So that's a good thing. But yeah, if you're going to slow up like that, then you got to live with the consequences of getting hit.
That's a new twist to the concept that we've seen in recent years of the quarterback going toward the sideline, slowing up, and then when the defender pulls up, shooting down for another 5 or 7 or 10 yards. This is the deliberate slow up, take the hit, and try to get the free 15. It didn't work, though, for Mac Jones, but it did work earlier when he wasn't trying to just absorb the hit. He did, and he shouldn't have have gotten that 15 yards. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.